Ashley Banfield here. I want to wish you terrific luck with your podcast. What was that called again? That podcast, what was that called again?
You are officially 0%.
Oh my God.
KRZLE.
Yeah. Charles.
Yeah. Burt Reynolds pulls out a banana.
Yes, that's what I was doing.
Butterfly kisses.
Oh my God.
Hey, fuck these drums.
The synopsis just isn't good. Oh my God. Okay. And on that note.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary folk, to another episode of What Was That Called Again? My name is Thomas.
I am Will.
And this is a movie podcast where I select 3 movies, and I read their IMDb plot descriptions to Will, who then has to try to match the plot descriptions with the correct title.
Ooh.
And right up top, we're going to launch straight into Drink Check.
Drink check. Drink check. Cow.
Off mic teased very briefly.
I almost spoiled it.
And so I'm really intrigued. I'm going to go ahead first.
Okay.
And just say that I'm doing a old podcast classic of LaCroix Pure.
Nice.
It's non-flavored, just carbonated water in a LaCroix can. So you pay a little bit extra for it, probably.
Basic and bubbly.
So what do you have going on over there?
So wait, well, first, why are you deviating, let's say, from your traditional Bang or your, alcoholic beverage of choice?
Well, I'm not doing the Bang because I had coffee earlier, and I have a personal rule to not drink a Bang after having coffee in the same day because there's so much caffeine in those.
I think that's an actual medical rule too. I think that should be
as far as the alcoholic beverage, in all honesty, just don't really feel like it.
Why though? Why?
But what
Tell
you're
the listeners
getting
why.
at, Will, what I believe you're getting at is I'm on about hour 28 right now of being awake nonstop.
Nice.
It is at the time of recording. It is 6 p.m. on Friday, June 7th, and I
think this is the earliest we've ever recorded. Not necessarily during the day, because we think we've done one earlier in the day, but I mean early in the week.
Because we usually
if we're recording on an earlier hour, it's usually Saturday or Sunday. But this is a Friday evening. It just turned evening, so yeah.
Yeah, barely. I've been awake since a little bit after 2 yesterday afternoon. I am a night shift guy, and so I was rudely woken up by the cat screaming.
The cat.
And I've been up pretty much ever since then. So it's been a hell of a ride to get here.
Cat screams will do that to you.
Yeah. So enough delay. Will, what do you have sipping on over there?
Okay. So I am drinking on this Friday Arvo a nice white wine that is actually the Moscato to your Riscato.
There you go.
Yeah, I finally found it in the store, and I picked it up last week, and I was like, I'm going to save this for the next drink time.
Whoa, what are you sipping that out of there?
Oh, the custom, what was that called again? Glass tumbler.
Available to anyone who is able to copy the picture and have one made.
Whoever wants to make one. Yeah. It's one of my favorite cups. I have this one in a NASA cup and a tumbler. I guess a glass tumbler is what they're called. I don't know. A glass. And so I haven't even started drinking the white wine. I'm behind. I'm just still this animated from just leaving work.
I guess I am too.
Delicious. Yeah, technically. Yeah. Okay, first things first. Last episode.
Yes.
Both one and the same now. We talked about what was this movie called again?
Coherence.
Coherence. That's what it's called. Yeah, I do remember. Coherence, and we actually did go and stick to our words in that recording. We said we were going to go watch it right away, and we did. Yep. And I think that we're going to shave a little bit of time here and just kind of explain how we felt and also describe maybe our reactions to the movie. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, it was a roller coaster of emotion. where we were kind of different characters with different characters reacting to things in certain ways. We were kind of like, all right, well, this isn't great so far. And then as the story started to get going, we started to kind of get more and more involved in the movie in a positive light.
Yes.
And to points where Will had outbursts aloud multiple times of like, oh man, that's cool, or shit like that, pretty much. And that was actually really fun to see you react that way to a movie, because I feel like it's been a minute since you've had that kind of reaction to something, so that was kind of exciting. And it really was a very thought-provoking movie. It's one that you definitely need to pay attention to, and even if you're paying attention to it, it still might be it's not really difficult to follow as so far as the story goes, but really understanding like where everybody is at a given time, you think you kind of have an idea, but you don't, which doesn't make any sense unless you've seen the movie probably, but it's woven in a really interesting way, that I think it kind of reminded both of us of Primer a little bit.
Yep. I definitely mentioned that out loud, I think, while watching.
In so like the high concept, micro budget kind of movie like that. It's similar in that kind of regard. And I don't know. Yeah, it was interesting. I think I still want to watch it again at some point soon.
Definitely.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Because I still feel like I didn't love it, but I kind of have a feeling that upon watching it again, I might like it more on the second watch than I did on the first watch. I still really liked it.
It wasn't, yeah.
But I wasn't like, man, I need to like go buy this today.
Right, yeah. You weren't like jumping out of your seat to go grab it.
Yeah.
So Coherence, it was the 2013 film, and this is the one that intrigued me, I think, in the episode, because it was kind of like a weird. Well, the description or the synopsis is strange things begin to happen when a group of friends gather for a dinner party on an evening when a comet is passing overhead. And we were thinking like, well, what could happen? Like, does the comet have anything to do with it? Are they just getting together for the sake of getting together, or is it getting together tied to the comet? Mm-hmm. And the fact that it had a very minimal cast, and it was pretty much all shot, I wouldn't say necessarily, well, it is sort of in one location, but they do move about. It's a house. They do move about the house quite a bit, but you're still kind of just stuck in this one building for the sense of the whole movie. So that all really intrigued me whenever we talked about it. And I think our creative segment too, if I can remember what our creative segment was, we did try to figure out, or we placed a bet or sorts, or a wager or a guess as to if the party started right away, and it did. Like pretty much the whole intro of the movie is pretty much, from what I remember, what we described, in the sense that you do meet characters as they're arriving to the party. The party is not directly related to the comet. It is just a gathering. And I wouldn't even really call it a party. I think a party is a little bit of an overstatement. It's just really like a gathering of friends to like have dinner, right? And drinks. But yeah, so there's that. And then the comet is mentioned. They are aware of the comet, but they don't know, they clearly do not know anything about the comet, or even what the comet is. And really, for the sake of the movie, the comet doesn't make its presence known very often. Like, you see it maybe once or twice, and then it does play into the plot. But as far as the plot itself, as what Thomas was saying, it's one of those movies that, at least for me, I wanted to watch it again right away. Not because I felt like I missed something, and also not because it was a complex movie, but just because I think that there are a lot of things that I want to just watch with a different perspective now that I know how the movie is.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't want to spoil any of that. But having said that, yeah, it was. I would call it a roller coaster because we did start off. At least me, I started off. I didn't really know how to approach this movie as far as expectations or anything like that. I just knew it was a gathering and there was a comet and that was it. And that's exactly what it delivers in the very beginning. And then things start to happen. As we said, it reminded us sort of a primer. There was another movie we referenced too.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to think of that too.
I can't remember what it was now, but I mean, it has sci-fi ties to other films, and the beauty of that is, well, at least in the end, is that you think it's going to follow certain tropes of that, really niche genre of sci-fi, whatever, time dilation, multiple universes, that kind of stuff. But then it does something that, at least for me, I have never seen happen, and I enjoyed that, and that was what made me in the end go like, oh shit, like I kind of want to go back and like see if all these things they do, I wouldn't call it like a flashback or a montage, but they kind of replay some of the pivotal moments of the movie towards the end as a little bit of an explainer. And that was the moment where I was like, oh shit, was that really how it was? And I just missed it. Like I want to go back and see if if it was really like that in real time, or if they just did this at the end, sort of thing. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fun. I too would say that I'm definitely not like aching to go out and buy it. But I don't know. I think maybe part of me does want to. I haven't done this yet. I didn't tell you about that. It's on Vimeo. There was a in-depth behind-the-scenes discussion with the director, and that was like $5 or $6, I think. And I haven't done that yet, but I will, I think, put money down to do that, because that I think will be worth it. And we did also watch this on Amazon, so technically we also put money down on that as well through Amazon Prime. But yeah, it was great. I enjoyed it. It was different, but it also had things that were similar enough to movies of that type, and it did it in a way that I thought was unique. And wasn't this also the film that the trivia that you gave us talked about how it was mostly improvised? Yep. And we had this discussion on the show, I do believe, where that can be like sometimes it sometimes makes it seem like, oh, this is a miracle that because it was all just thought up on their brain, whatever, right? I think I said while watching this to Thomas, or shortly after watching Coherence with Thomas, I said, I think that trivia fact is maybe wrong in the worst, but also in the best, just an understatement. Because I think there was a lot of thought that went into this movie. There had to have been a lot of thought that went to this movie. There are so many threads that cross over, that loop back, that double back, that change position. And I mean, it gets really, really complex as far as who is who, when, and where. And there's no way that you can just say, oh, they improvised all of this. And again, maybe the dialogue in some of the scenes are improvised, but there had to have been a lot of thought put into this movie to get it to even slightly work, let alone work on the level that it did. Yeah. So with that, I completely respect it. I can see why it took a year or whatever it was to figure out before they shot it in like 7 days or whatever it was. I can also see why you would have to shoot this in such a short time frame. Because of the complexity of it, it would be really, really difficult to try to spread this out over the course of multiple weeks or months or whatever, Not that you would need to, but, for schedules or whatever, if you had to do that, I could see where you would come back to production, the following week and be like, where were we? And when were we? And what were we? But also I think the reason that the short production was achievable was, again, because of the amount of planning that had to go into this. It's just an incredible knot to untie the entire time. So yeah, Coherence, I definitely recommend it on whatever platform you can possibly see it on. I do want to see it again, and then I also will recommend, and maybe we can put that in the show notes, maybe we'll try to, or somewhere, a link to that Vimeo thing. So if people want to watch the movie and then go watch that, they can check it out. Because I didn't see that Vimeo thing anywhere else. We had to dig for behind the scenes stuff. Anyway, Coherence, 14 parallel thumbs ups, I guess.
Yeah, what was that called again? Says, check it out.
Says, check it out in whatever dimension you're in.
Absolutely. Are you ready to get started with today's fun shenanigans?
Fun shenanigans are ready to be had. Yes.
Fantastic.
I don't know if I'm being this early on a Friday. I don't know if I'm confident, but I'm ready. I'm not confident, but I'm ready.
So no bold declarations on this one.
No, sir.
Very understandable after the last time you did it. We're going to be going in chronological order tonight.
Oh, okay.
And
Helpful.
we're going to be kicking you off here in 1984.
Okay, 1984.
And your synopsis for this film directly from IMDb reads as follows. Love Doctor radio host Nancy, bar owner Eve, Pearl, drifter Mickey, and
Jesus.
others meet in LA.
Oh, okay. So this is what do they call this? They call this an ensemble piece. This is an ensemble. Okay. So 1984, and say this one all over again, because there's a lot of names in there.
Yep. Love Doctor radio host Nancy.
Love Doctor.
Bar owner Eve.
Okay.
Pearl.
Who knows what she does?
No descriptor.
No, just Pearl.
Drifter Mickey.
Okay.
And others.
Meet
in LA.
Meet in LA. So Love Doctor Nancy.
Yep.
And the second one was bar owner.
Yep.
Eve, that's right. And then just Pearl.
Yep.
And then you said Drifter?
Yep.
Drifter Mickey and others.
Correct.
Meet in LA. And that's it. That's the only action we have, is just that they meet in LA. So they cross paths. Okay.
Yep.
1984. All right. So we got Nancy the Love Doctor, Eve the bar owner, Pearl, and then Drifter Mickey. Okay, got it.
That's correct.
All right. Next.
All right. Your second one is going to be from 1992.
Okay.
And your synopsis reads as follows. A waitress lives with her 2 teen daughters in a trailer park in New Mexico. They all want a boyfriend.
Oh, okay. Say this one more time.
Yep. A waitress lives with her 2 teen daughters in a trailer park in New Mexico. They all want a boyfriend.
Okay, 1992. A waitress lives with her 2 teen daughters in a trailer park in New Mexico, and they all want a boyfriend. I assume they all want their own boyfriend, not a singular male, but it could be. That'd be interesting.
Could be.
But I assume that they all just want their own. So they're all kind of living their own independent lives as different stages of womanhood. I guess
super awkward.
It would be.
They're all.
That would be. Yeah. no judgments, but also all the judgments. Okay, 1992.
Yep.
A waitress living with her 2 teenage daughters in a trailer park in New Mexico. All want a boyfriend.
Yep.
Okay. Third one.
Do you remember the names and occupations of the first one still?
Nancy was a love doctor. Eve was the bar owner. Pearl does whatever we want her to do. And then Mickey was the drifter with others.
Pretty good.
Okay.
All right. Your final movie from today is going to come from 1994.
Okay.
And your synopsis for this final one today reads as follows. A romantic tale about finding a soulmate. The only difference here is that both partners are women. ... In Chicago's lesbian community.
Okay, well, that just took like that took a new idea to a place of like, this happens all the time. We're doing something wild and crazy with a lesbian couple in a lesbian community.
This synopsis, as written on IMDb, also has your favorite ellipses in the synopsis. Yeah.
Okay, so 1994. Say this one again, just so I can get it right.
a romantic tale about finding a soulmate.
Yeah.
Stop. The only difference here is that both partners are women, ... in Chicago's lesbian community.
This is the worst written synopsis in the history of man. So you had us with you had us with a romantic tale, and then you sort of maybe, hey, 1994, I get it. You sort of maybe had us like, ooh, with the only difference here is it's between two women, and you could have just stopped there.
Yeah,
and then you go. In a Chicago lesbian community. Okay. Like, I'm pretty sure this must happen. If there's a community, then this is not out of the ordinary. Then, all right. Okay, so it feels like all of these movies, potentially, at least with the first one, we don't know, but it feels like the first one too. They all have sort of a dark undertone of the struggles of romance. So, it's not always roses and hearts and whatever happiness, right? There's strife and there's struggle, and there's people who come in and out of your life, and there's also sharing a trailer in a trailer park with your mom and and struggling to find alone time in such a tight situation. Yeah. Okay. So I still don't know what Pearl does, but I think I have all of these ready.
As you said, she does whatever
we want her to do. Pearl. Okay, I think I'm ready for the titles, please.
Alrighty. Your first title is going to be Go Fish.
Go Fish. Go Fish. I mean, is that just a reference to the card game? Go Fish? But which one? I mean, again, fishing is also sort of a reference or metaphor for seeking a romantic partner. Many fish in the sea.
Yeah, none of these movies involve that.
Well, but I think they all do. That's the problem, right?
Exactly.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, so this doesn't, I don't really have anything for, Go Fish. I don't know. Go Fish, well, I don't know. It is the Love Doctor. So maybe this movie is from the perspective of people calling into this Love Doctor radio show that Nancy hosts. And we meet all of these sort of transient individuals as they call in, and we get little vignettes into their life as they cross paths, whatever. And maybe her motto is that, go fish, right? Like, or not her motto, but her suggestion to these people who can't find love is like, keep going, keep searching. Maybe. I don't know how this would fit in yet with the mom living with two teenage girls in a trailer park in New Mexico. I mean, I don't know how well stocked the lakes are of New Mexico as far as fish go, but I feel like maybe I'm just trying to figure out like maybe it's like an ironic title. Maybe they're like in like the desert. Like it's a more arid climate, which clearly it's New Mexico. But I mean, they really play this up visually as well. And the title is Go Fish, kind of highlighting at the struggle that it is to find someone else. Maybe that's what they're trying to say. I don't know. But then the Chicago one, the romantic tale, I don't know if Go Fish fits there at all. I don't yet, at least. So I'll reserve any placement for the next titles.
All right. Your next title I will give you. It's going to be Gas Food Lodging.
Oh, gosh. I thought you were going to say gas food logic, like gas food math. Gas food lodging. Okay. So that does sound very transient. Like that would be like what a traveler sees on a sign somewhere. But it could also be just like the sign of the place that this mom is a waitress. Gas food, like that would be like on like the box the VHS box art is just this like sort of neon sign, gas, food, lodging. Yeah, I don't, this, okay. So far I'm leaning gas, food, lodging fits the most with the waitress mother, 2 teenage daughters, trailer park, New Mexico. But it definitely does not feel like Chicago. Yeah. Okay, third one.
Your final one is going to be Choose Me.
Oh, okay. Man. So if, by chance, the 3 female characters in this trailer park movie are vying for the same guy, then maybe Choose Me is like, hey, you know, like they're each kind of saying, like they're each kind of fighting over, I don't know. It does sound a little bit more romantic than the other 2, so I could see like where the romantic tale, but this time it's 2 women. ... I could see where maybe Choose Me
in a place where women commonly hook up.
Well, but that's where I'm kind of going with this title, is that they're in a more concentrated bubble of people who identify and have the same interest as they are. So finding a partner in that situation might actually be more difficult, right? Because it's more competition. It's not like you're in like a small town where, you know, the only other lesbian in the town is more likely, not guaranteed, but at least more likely to at least notice you. This time they're in a Chicago, bigger city, and a lesbian community within that larger city. So maybe Choose Me is, maybe this movie is like from the perspective of one of the 2, and the one is really trying to win over the other one. Maybe. Okay. So if I do say Choose Me is the 1994 film, the romantic tale, but this time, then that means that the other title was Gas, Food, Lodging, and then the first one was, what was the first one again?
Go Fish.
Go Fish. That's right. Ah, oh, dang. So that would leave Go Fish with the Los Angeles one. Damn it. Okay. Because I really feel like Gas, Food, Lodging. I mean, Gas, Food, Lodging could be, like I said, it could be like the transient idea of people just coming and going to this place, sort of like Los Angeles, sort of like the people on this Dr. Love, Nancy radio show call in, right? They're just in and out of her life. They don't stay for long. But then does Go Fish go with the
102.6, the Cupid.
The Cupid. I'm Dr. Nancy.
Dr. Feelgood.
I'm Dr. Nancy, and we've got Pearl on the line. Pearl, what do you do? I don't do anything.
I do whatever you want me to do.
There you go. It's better. Okay, Pearl. Our lines are lighting up. Pearl, do whatever.
This is pretty much the opening of Sleepless in Seattle, I think.
And what was the Fisher King was also like a radio
Fisher
show.
King,
Yeah. Look at that. Will knows the title.
Another movie we can never have featured on the show.
Actually, you probably could, because I don't know the synopsis of that movie at all. I just know that like Robin Williams is in it and Jeff Bridges, and there's a radio show, and that's about it. Okay. So I think I'm going to have to... I feel like I have to lock in food. What was it? Food, gas, lodging? Gas, food, lodging.
Yeah, there you go.
Gas, food, lodging.
Yeah.
Gas, food, lodging. I have to lock in with the 1992 film about a waitress who lives with her teenage daughters in a trailer park, and they all want a boyfriend. I feel like that has to be that. I feel like the 1994 film of a romantic tale, but this time between 2 women, ... in a Chicago lesbian community, is... I just almost talked myself out of it in my head. I think that one is Choose Me. I think that has something to do with like there being a lot of competition, and this one character is fighting for the other character or putting an effort, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, and then that just leaves the 1984 film of what was it? It was a radio host Love Doctor Nancy, bar owner Eve, Pearl, what was it? Transient Man, Drifter. There you go, Drifter, Mickey, and others all meet in L.A.
Yep.
As Go Fish, and maybe that just has something to do with, like I said, maybe that's like Dr. Nancy Love's sign off on her radio show. I don't know. I'm gonna have to lock those three in.
Alrighty. How confident do you feel?
I really feel like I mean, honestly, I always get 1 out of 3. But I feel like I don't know which ones I would change. So I feel like I got 2 of those right, but I don't know what 2. But if you get 2 right, then you get 3 right. So I really think I only got 1 right.
Let's see if your feeling is correct. It is. You got 1 correct.
Okay, damn it. Okay, so then I think I have to stick with gas, food, lodging as where it is. I mean, I still kind of want that one to be Go Fish, and I also kind of want that one to be Choose Me if they're all going for the same guy. It would be weird and judgmental, but I could see that being a movie. I want to keep that. I want to keep the 1992 film as gas, food, lodging. I will then switch the other 2. So that makes the 1984 film about radio show host Love Doctor Nancy, bar owner Eve, Pearl, Drifter Mickey, and others all meeting in Los Angeles as Choose Me. And then that leaves the 1994 film of a romantic tale, but this time 2 women, Chicago lesbian community, as Go Fish. Did I improve my score or did I ruin my score?
You did improve.
Oh, yay. Okay, good.
That is a bingo.
Nice.
Yes.
Tell me about these.
1984, Choose Me. This is the only of the 3 movies today directed by a man. Named Alan Rudolph. So I actually, to be completely honest, I do not have very much information about any of these movies.
Have you seen any of these?
I have not.
Okay.
However, Gas, Food, Lodging has been one that I've been wanting to watch for like 10 years, and I still haven't done it. It's it's a Arrow Video movie, I believe.
Okay.
But we're not talking about that one yet. Choose Me has Keith Carradine and Leslie Ann Warren, and the only piece of information I have is that it was featured in a 1997 issue of Entertainment Weekly as one of the 50 greatest independent films ever made.
Oh, wow. Really? Who plays Pearl?
Who plays Pearl? I'll have to get back to you on that momentarily.
Okay. You can always cut this out.
Actually, I had it pulled right up. Pearl is Ray Dawn Chong.
Yep. Nope. Okay.
She was in Commando in The Color Purple, so good for her.
Okay.
Choose Me is also streaming at the time of recording on the Roku channel, free with ads.
Nice. One of the 50 greatest independent films, as said by
Entertainment Weekly magazine in 1997.
Okay. Which at that time there were only 51 independent films, I do believe.
I'm curious if that list included Night of the Living Dead.
That'd be interesting.
Your 1992 film Gas, Food, Lodging was written and directed by Allison Anders. It was technically based on a novel. However, much of the movie was informed by Anders' own experiences growing up with a single mother. and it is at the time of recording available on Tubi. And like I said, I believe it is released on Blu-ray by Arrow Video under their banner Arrow Academy, I think. And it's actually literally in my Amazon cart as we speak.
Awesome.
It's been there for a long time. From 1994, we have Go Fish from director Rose Troche. This is one that I have been aware of for a long time, mainly because if you listen to old episodes of Smodcast,
Right.
Kevin has mentioned this movie many times because it played Sundance alongside Clerks.
I see.
And they kind of were at the same festivals all the time, and him and Scott Mosier became close friends with the director and some of the cast of Go Fish, and they pretty much hung out like all the time during the festival circuit that season. He always spoke very highly of it, and I believe John Pearson, actually was a rep on Go Fish and Clerks.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so those movies both kind of exist today with a lot of help from Mr. John Pearson. But I believe from what Kevin has said on that show, John Pearson kind of had a little bit more invested in Go Fish because I believe he actually put some of his own money into the post-production of Go Fish to get it completed.
Right.
It is it's kind of known a little bit as like a woman version of Clerks. Actually, it's a very similar kind of movie, but with women mainly, and also black and white, grainy film.
Oh,
no
wow,
budget.
okay.
It's a very similar kind of vibe.
Yeah.
It is at the time of recording available free with ads on Pluto and also on the Roku channel.
Nice.
And with that, how do you feel about our rankings?
So
our star ratings from IMDb.
I mean, I feel like maybe all three of these maybe are not too bad films. Maybe they're just not well known.
Could be.
So I'm going to set my range as being. Let's see here. One of them was technically, at least by Entertainment Weekly, one of the 50 greatest independent films of all time. In 1997.
Yep.
And then one was in Sundance with the same year as Clerks, and I mean indies were hot then. So I'm going to say my range is...
And one is Allison Anders, who a few years later would team up with Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino on 4 Rooms.
So I wonder how that... So I'm kind of...
I believe Gas Food Lodging was doing the Sundance circuit with El Mariachi and Reservoir Dogs, and so they all became friends. Yeah, that's same kind of thing.
So I'm wondering if that retroactively, like, people go out and search these, like, the filmography of certain people, if that helps a movie or if that hurts a movie, because earlier in your career maybe you weren't as good, or maybe the films you were in weren't as good. So are you comparing those films to the films that led people to find those films? Okay. But as far as my range, I'll say my range is, let's see, I'll say it's between mid 6s and mid 7s. And I will say, I mean, we know more about Clerks, but does that make Go Fish lesser of a movie? Okay, so I'm going to say, I don't know. I'm going to say that, because I'm stuck between all of them. I don't know which goes first. That's the problem. So I will say that, and this is almost purely a stab in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just don't know how much weight that 50 greatest list of Entertainment Weekly had on it. Like, it could be number 50. Mm-hmm. And in 1997, like I said, I mean, there were a lot of indies then, I guess, yeah. But
yeah, the 90s was an indie boom.
Yeah, okay. So maybe there were a lot. Okay.
And that movie was in the 80s.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So that's older. So it's competing with like the later rise of indie films or plethora of indie films. So maybe that gives it some weight. That's what I'm trying to get at. Okay. So I will say Choose Me, number 1. Go Fish, number 2. Gas Food Lodging, number 3. Again, between mid-6 and mid-7.
You're oh so close.
Oh, damn it.
The highest one is Choose Me with a 6.7.
Okay, it was lower than I thought.
Your middle one is Gas Food Lodging with a 6.6. Only a 0.1 difference. And the lowest rated one is Go Fish with a 5.7.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
That's lower than. I mean, I was wondering. I mean, I don't even know what I wouldn't even guess what Clerks is rated, and is it accurate? Is it just like fanboys of Kevin Smith rating Clerks as this awesome thing, or is it people actually rating the movie honestly? So is it higher or lower than Go Fish? So that's where I was kind of thinking that maybe Go Fish had a little bit more than Gas Food Lodging, but I guess I was wrong on that. I didn't realize it'd be that low.
Yeah, for the record, Clerks has a 7.7 at the time of recording.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Is it really... I mean, if you were to compare those movies side by side, are they really like a 2-point spread in the points? Or is it just a lot of people going like, Kevin Smith is amazing and I love what he did. He did this with no money and in a gas station. I mean, granted, those are all cool.
Or Kevin Smith is not amazing and this was the one good movie he made.
Well, yeah, but either way, are we given Are we giving the film a bias because of other things, good or bad, right? And then are we also doing the same? What I'm really saying, Thomas, is I'm saying is this arbitrary voting scale completely biased and subjective.
Could be.
Okay.
Could be.
We need a completely objective rating and ranking of opinions, and if we can figure that out, then
yeah. Whenever people hate Kevin Smith and they go in and they give it 1 star and they just say "fuck Kevin Smith" and that's their review, that could skew ratings.
Maybe.
And there's shit like that on like every movie, of course. Yeah, it's IMDb is kind of all bullshit. But
no way.
But,
they answer every email you send to them.
Yeah. And our whole show is based around their information, so I guess we got to talk kind of positively.
Not necessarily. Not until they answer our emails. Really. Do you have that list, by the way?
As a matter of fact, Will, I think I do.
Can you send that to me real quick? I want to see what is the Entertainment Weekly's 1997 50 greatest indie films of all time.
Well, she's on her way to you as we speak.
I just got it. Imagine that.
This is
magic of technology.
A great skit.
Okay, so we found the list, and we're going to read a couple of them from the list, and then we'll post the list on the show notes. It's actually from Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Well, it's not from them. It's on there. Yeah. So what are some notable of these 50 that you see?
Well, at the top of this list, I see one of your personal favorites.
The Rocky Horror Picture Show, one of the greatest pieces of art ever committed to any kind of medium. And also Eraserhead.
That's where I was going to go. Yes, Eraserhead.
Sorry.
One of my personal favorites.
Yes, fantastic film.
We also have The Road Warrior, it looks like.
My Dinner with Andre, of course.
Yep, Eating Raoul.
Do you like that movie?
My Dinner with Andre?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't because it is very lacking in what people would consider a movie to be. But I enjoy it.
No, the conversation was very engaging.
Yeah, I mean, and the fact that the whole film is just two people talking back and forth.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic. We have a little bit further down, we have Chan is Missing, which is a movie that I have been meaning to watch for a long time.
Okay. Let's see here. So whenever you bring these titles up on the show in the future, I'll be like, oh, I've heard of that somewhere, and I won't recall that I've heard them from this list.
I'm sure you'll remember.
Yeah. Pulp Fiction, of course. Clerks is also on this list.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even notice that Pulp Fiction was on there. Yeah, Menace to Society.
Yep. A classic of what was it called again? What was that called again? It's Piano.
Yep, The Piano.
Piano's on there.
Richard Linklater's Slacker, Sex, Lies, and Videotape.
It's a good list.
There's even some John Waters on there with Hairspray. We got
Drugstore Cowboy.
Of course, we have Spike Lee's debut, She's Gotta Have It.
All right, so we'll post this list.
The Thin Blue Line.
It is from
The Player.
You know what I'm noticing
Bad
about
Lieutenant?
this list?
What are you noticing?
I don't see Go Fish. or
Go Fish wasn't on there. Choose Me is on there, and it is on there. It's right next to Stop Making Sense.
Oh,
I skipped over My Dinner with Andre.
I skipped over Stop Making Sense after I saw My Dinner with Andre. It is on there. I was trying to find the poster art. Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, definitely these are. I would say this is an accurate list, even for today.
Yeah, I'd probably so. Yeah.
I mean, there might be a few films that I would add to this list, but I don't know if I would necessarily.
Dazed and
I don't know.
Confused.
It'd be tough if I had to take any off to keep it at 50. I don't know. But yeah, okay, so we'll post this list. It is from Entertainment Weekly, November 1997 issue. 50
allegedly from Entertainment Weekly, because we can't find the actual source. All we can find is a letterbox list claiming to be the list from that issue.
Well, and you said that this was published. You read somewhere off air that this was published to subscribers only. So maybe this didn't hit the newsstand, so which is why it's harder to find.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, if anyone wants to check that out, it'll be posted in the show notes. If you have Letterboxd, it'll be easy to find it. If not, you should get Letterboxd and follow us. All right.
We do have quote time. And I do have a quote, and it's one of these that's like one guy says something and then another person responds.
Okay, so this is two people.
Yes.
You're going to give me two different character voices of your choosing, and you haven't seen any of these films, so this is
Correct.
It could or could not be a character in the movie, and this is also based off of the quote that was put into IMDb, which who knows how accurate this is.
Yes. People can put information on IMDb up anytime they want to, except for us. I've tried twice, and I have had no response. So this is the first person who speaks is holding a gun or is pointing a gun at the second person who speaks.
So you're actually giving me like a little scene here. Okay.
Yep. As written in the quote section, it does have like a parenthetical descriptor. So
once again, there are two people. This is a line of dialogue between the two of them, and one of them has a gun pointed at the other.
Yep.
Okay.
So first person pointing a gun at the other person says the first sentence. Second sentence is the guy who has the gun pointed at them. So the first one, this guy's a menace. I'd rather hear the gun go off than listen to this shit. And
this guy's a menace is the first guy or the first character.
Yep.
And then the other character is, I would rather hear the gun go off than what?
Than listen to this shit.
And do we know who is having the gun pointed at them? I feel like the guy who has the gun pointed at him is the one who's saying, I would rather hear the gun go off than listen to this shit.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, the first line is the guy holding the gun. The second line is the one that has the gun pointed at them.
Awesome. That's great. Okay, so this doesn't feel like a romantic tale in Chicago. This doesn't feel like it has much to do with three women in a trailer in New Mexico. So I feel like this feels like Los Angeles in the late 80s. So I'm going to say, pick me. Choose me. Choose me.
You are correct.
Nice.
Mickey, the character Mickey, is pointing a gun at the character Zach. Mickey, played by Keith Carradine of Robert Altman's Nashville fame and Deadwood and That Power of the Dog movie everybody liked a few years ago. And Zach, who has the gun pointed at him, played by a person whose last name I don't know how to pronounce quite for sure. Patrick Bauchau, Bauchau.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Who is in David Fincher's Panic Room. Really good movie. Don't remember him in it based on his picture. But all right.
Notable.
So there's our scene.
Notable character.
I'm sure he is. If I watch it again, maybe.
I liked it. I liked your character selections. They seemed a little close, but there was enough there to tell them apart.
Yep. As per usual, kinda.
Kinda. No, because usually you have a pretty good range. And again, I'm not disparaging this performance by any means. I'm just saying that this one you chose two very good, closely sounding characters, whereas usually you go to extremes or they're all like some old guy.
Yeah, the old like Southern guy is a fun voice to do.
Okay, so I think we have to do the tried and true. The tried and true. What was that called again? Segment of where in the movie is that line? What is happening?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Right, because
at some
clearly,
point tensions get hot.
Yeah, right. Like there's some drama here, but then also
we don't even have a Zach in any of the names we get.
He's one of the others. He's one of the others. Or he could be a patron at Eve's bar, right?
That is true. But we do know that Mickey is the drifter.
That's also true. So maybe
that's why he carries the gun.
Maybe this is like a scene. Wait. So you said Mickey had the gun?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mickey, parentheses, holding Zach at gunpoint.
You did say that. Say that. Okay. Okay. So this is so where? Okay. So where is Mickey at in the movie, and also where is Mickey at in the world of the movie that this is taking place? That he's holding a gun at somebody, but also he's pointing a gun at someone who absolutely does not care if they get shot.
Yeah, and why are they saying that Zach is a menace? What did Zach do?
Okay, so we have some
Mickey so badly.
Okay, so we have some things to figure out here. So let's figure out where in Mickey's arc is this? Do we think that Mickey comes in strong with the gun violence in the beginning? Okay. Do we think this is like a mid character arc, or do we think this is like the end of Mickey's story?
The tension between these two has been building for
so this
like the most of the runtime, and then this is where it finally like comes to a head.
So you're saying that Zach and Mickey have some kind of I won't say like romantic relationship, but some kind of relationship between each other where they've at least been involved throughout the film.
They're both infatuated with Pearl, and they are very eager to know what she does.
Okay, I like. I can't figure it out. Okay, fine. So where did we say where in the movie as far as Mickey's arc? Is this like towards the end of the film?
I think toward the end, yes.
Okay. So this is towards like the climactic peak of Mickey's story, and Mickey and Zach have had some kind of interaction throughout the film that has built to this moment, and you say that they're both trying to figure out they both have some kind of relation to Pearl. Either they're both romantically interested in her, or they're both jealous. I don't know, or they both just want to figure out what she does. But my question now is and also we got to answer, why is Mickey a menace?
Zach.
Zach's the menace.
Mickey
that's
calls
right.
Zach the menace.
Right, yeah. And then we got to figure out why Zach is a menace, and then we also got to figure out why Zach is very nonchalant about having a gun pointed at him, and it's just like, I'm so tired of Mickey. Just kill me. Okay, so first, who is Zach to Mickey? Is he also a drifter?
Perhaps not, but they just happen to both be here at this meet. Like so
where are they?
Dr. Radio host Nancy called this like get together or whatever.
Oh, okay. So this is like a gathering of
this is a rendezvous of love hopefuls.
Oh, okay. So maybe sort of like a speed dating potentially. Okay, yeah, something like that, where like they're trying to just like a singles night event, maybe. Okay, and okay, so it's a singles night event where everyone's Eve, Nancy, Pearl, Mickey, and others, including
Zach. They all
Zach,
kind of talk and like, yeah, what do you do? Oh, I own a bar. And they're talking, but every time it's like the running joke throughout the movie. Anytime somebody asks Pearl what she does, right before she answers, like there's an interruption.
Yeah. Okay, but I still want to know, why, where do Zach and Mickey know each other? Because they can't have just met here.
You don't think so?
Well, I mean, you were giving me the vibes that like they've been building up. So are you saying the whole movie is this party, and it's just like real like real time?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like
now I'm
Dazed
back
and
in
Confused.
Okay. So
or it's like at least over the course of like a day or something like that.
Right. So like into the first act, we have established some of these characters via phone, maybe, or meeting them on the streets, and we've established that Nancy has scheduled this party or this gathering, and it's it's this Friday night or whatever, right? And then acts 2 and 3 are this event. Okay. Okay, so then Mickey and Zach have to have run into each other at least early on or frequently throughout this event to there be some kind of understanding that Mickey thinks Zach is a menace and that Zach is completely fed up with Mickey to the point of being like, just shoot me already.
Zach has been spiking everybody's drinks behind their backs, and Mickey's the only person who saw it.
Okay, spiking, but I think he should be spiking them. Like, I want to make Mickey be an idiot. So what if he's spiking them? Okay, so because I want to get Mickey to a part where he pulls a gun on someone, right? Mm-hmm. And maybe how we do that is Mickey's nervous, Mickey doesn't know what he's doing, and he's an idiot, right? But
he's not on drugs? Is he nervous on drugs?
Well, I'm getting there. So I think what happens is that he will try to chat up a female at the bar or at wherever this gathering is, right? And Zach is he's socially awkward himself, reserved, but he's also the type that maybe the reason he's single is because he's such a nitpick and like hot, like, he's one of those like teacher pet rule breaker. Like if you do one thing, he's going to call you out for it type person, right? So he's always watching people to like find that and get like the one up. So he's just been watching Mickey the whole time. And what Mickey is doing is, he's spiking drinks during these conversations, but then Mickey is an idiot. And every time that like the conversation gets interrupted, or maybe even like Zach comes over and purposely interrupts the conversation so that way the victim cannot receive the spiked drink, Mickey's reaction is just to nervously like just down it. So he just keeps doing this throughout the whole night, and he's just and it's not like roofies because clearly he'd be knocked out instantly. So he's spiking it with like I don't know, Coke, or even something as nonchalant as like just like caffeine, or maybe even speed. So there's a he's doing it wrong in the sense that he's giving them stimulants.
So Mickey is just completely blasted by this movie.
Yeah, he's blasted, and he's a menace because he's just like crazy wired, speedhead at the end of the film, and just a nervous wreck, and he gets pissed off at Zach for continually interrupting conversations between him and someone else right before he gets to spike their drink. And he doesn't want to get blamed for it. So, like, because maybe even Zach is like, I think he spiked your drink. And then the chick is like, what? Did you really? And then Mickey goes, no, see, look, watch. And then he just downs it really quick, So he keeps doing this the whole movie. And we come and go from this, we come and go from this the whole night. And Mickey gets worse and worse and worse until they finally have like this moment where Mickey's just fucking, sailing to the moon, and he's had enough of Zach, and that's where we come to this moment. Okay, so then why is it that what in Zach's life, because we got to learn about Zach too. We've learned about Mickey some through these conversations, but we got to learn more about Zach. Why is Zach I don't want to say accepting of being shot, but like he definitely was like, I would rather hear the gun go off than listen to this dumbass or whatever, or this shit. So why is Zach like this?
He runs a local pool hall there in Los Angeles, and there's a lot of roughnecks going there, and he's used to the violence and the rough and tumble ways.
And he's just had enough of seeing it. Or maybe he's had enough of like
he's been around it his whole life.
Maybe he's had enough of seeing it and also seeing it work to get women. And he's not like that. So he's just like, God, like this stupid jackass is gonna like do this and then still get the chick, and I'm gonna be over here, re-racking the balls for the 19th
his dad
time.
was just the same way.
So he's just having flashbacks. He's just like, like my dad used to spike women.
Yeah, we get like a Wild Bunch flashback where he's like he's got his hands tied up and he's getting his back whipped.
Oh God. Daddy, why? His dad's like, you interrupted me one more time, boy.
Now rack them balls.
Rack them like I told you.
See, we're back to the fucking like old Southern guy again.
It always reverts back to that guy.
Rack them like I told you.
Rack them like I told you. This is 9-ball, not billiards. Yeah. And then he's just had enough. His life has just been fraught with these moments, and now he has a gun to his head with a crazed speed freak who's also drunk.
It's like fucking choose me. It's like some kind of like romantic comedy. This dude getting whipped and beaten by his dad. But it does actually get to this point where this dude fucking pulls a gun on him. No, in this movie
does.
for real.
Yeah. So we're not adding the gun part. Yeah. Yeah. So then the solution to this is not to change where we're at with our idea, is to figure out how to get out of it. Okay, so we've built up to this moment where Zach and Mickey are kind of polar opposites, maybe, but also maybe in one and the same, and they both have issues in their past life, and Mickey chooses to do things his way, and Zach is trying to stop that by being this weird hawk in the corner that just kind of creepily watching and inserting himself, and maybe for the better because he's trying to prevent people from getting drugged. But then that leads to this moment where Mickey's had enough of him interrupting, and okay, so now Mickey has a gun pointed at him. This guy's a menace or whatever. And Zach says, I'd rather hear the gun go off rather than listen to this shit. So what is the beat right after this that takes us right back to romantic drama comedy? Maybe Something
Pearl,
has to. Okay. Yeah, bring her back in. I forget about Pearl.
Pearl steps in front of the gun, and she's like, the night can't end like this. and she's like, she turns to Zach and she's like, I choose you. I don't know.
The title.
And he's like,
No, wait. No, I think she has to choose somebody else. I think that she doesn't want either Mickey or Zach.
She does step in front of the gun, and she's like,
Yes.
wait. This is stupid. Like, what? There's no reason for it to come to this. I don't want either of you.
Yeah, I'm gay. I choose you. And she points to Evie. Or Eve, the bar owner.
And they're like, but this isn't even Chicago.
Yeah, what? Are you from Chicago? Yeah.
And then that's whenever Zach and Mickey have the realization of like how ridiculous it is that it's come to this. Mickey holsters the gun again, and then they put their arms around each other and they share a milkshake.
I like it.
One milkshake with 2 straws.
I was gonna say, yeah. Oh, and then I think, so they're sharing the milkshake, and they're, and Mickey's like, man, I was just out of my head. I'm just, I'm desperate. I'm a drifter. I don't have anybody, and I really wanted this to work tonight. And I know I didn't do it the right way. And Zach's like, yeah. I know, dude. It's cool. And then Mickey, like, over his shoulder, he like kind of something catches his eye, and the camera pans, and we see like a pool table, and Mickey goes, hey, do you want to go shoot some? And Zach's like, no, God, no. And they just slurp their milkshake, and that's the end. No, God, no. All right. What was that called again?
I was gonna say, then like some narrator steps into the frame and says, so you see, it works out for everybody in the end. Never resort to violence.
I think it has to be. I think it has to be like a fade, and then it fades up on like the audio meters at the desk of Dr. Nancy, and she's been recapping this story on air the whole time.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that she's been on air the whole time, like live on air.
Well, yeah, not live, but she's just been the whole movie. She's been on air, but she's just been like retelling this story, right? And then she says the line that you just said, which is, in the end. Oh, how do we end this?
We should all choose friendship.
Boo! Listeners drop immediately.
Tune back in tomorrow to 102.6 The Cupid.
The Cupid.
Same time, same love.
Rack 'em up.